Columbus Crew lost their second game of the season last night as they fell to Charlotte FC 3-2 on the road. The Crew will next play Nashville SC on Wednesday at home at 8 p.m. Cincinnati Reds snapped a 3-game losing streak with their 6-4 win over the Chicago Cubs yesterday. The Redlegs will play the Cubs again today in a rubber match game at 1:40. Coverage will start on the Fan at 1:10. The Cleveland Guardians beat the Detroit Tigers 7-5 in 10 innings yesterday. Cleveland is on a 4-game winning streak. They can sweep Detroit this morning starting at 11:35. The Minnesota Timberwolves blew out the OKC Thunder 143-101 for their first win in the Western Conference Finals. Minnesota will have a chance to tie the series at 2 games apiece tomorrow at 8:30. And tonight, the New York Knicks will look to not go down 3-0 on the road against the Indiana Pacers at 8 p.m. And the 109th Indianapolis 500 will take place this afternoon starting at 12:45.
From ONN, this is Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Here are your hosts, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Welcome to On the Money. I am Dave Biddle, joined by Scotty Vegas, Cam Taylor at the controls. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Scotty Vegas, the weather could not be any more perfect than this. How you doing, my friend?
It's been awesome. Yeah, it's been a great couple days, and I will make this argument, Dave. I think this might be one of the most underrated weekends of the year. I absolutely love it because it really is that start of summer, right? Where you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to look forward to over the next couple months that like this is like the party kickoff weekend of it. And so yeah, I love this weekend, and it leads right into what is a big deal here in Columbus, which is the Memorial Tournament. So awesome weekend, and then it leads into a great week as well.
Yeah, next week at this very time, we're going to be doing On the Money live from the Memorial. And I recommend that you go in the entrance when you want to park at the Memorial. Don't go in the exit. So I'm going to do that next time. But we're going to be out there next Sunday. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. It'll be, I think this is like my 14th or 15th year going out there, and I enjoy it so much every single year. There's always a story or two that you don't expect that comes out of that Memorial Tournament, and I can't wait to see what that's going to be. Some of the stories are fun fan stories. Maybe a coworker kind of taking a slip and falling down a hill. That was pretty funny. Maybe it could be golf related, just a lot of different things over the years. But one thing's for sure is we love being out there. We can't wait to be out there. And Sunday, if you're coming out there, right as you get off the shuttle, just give us a little wave because we'll be doing the show right from where the shuttle drops you off at the driving range area there. As you're walking in to watch all the action, that's where we'll be broadcasting from.
Yeah, if you go in the main entrance, you can't miss us.
Yeah,
so they treat us really well over there. I think you hooked up, like I looked at because I have to do this a lot, and I've had to do it for the last 20 plus years with my various jobs, is request press credentials. And a lot of times you're not just requesting it for yourself, you're requesting it for your coworkers as well. I'm trying to think the most I ever requested, like maybe 6, 7 for a particular event. I noticed you had to request like 26 or something press credentials, and they gave you all of them.
And more are coming through. I keep getting more over the weekend. Yeah, honestly, the cool thing about it is such a fun fan event because the Fan is broadcasting as a station. We're out there Wednesday with Rothman and Ice for 3 hours, and then we're going to be out there 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, and then we got a ton of hours over the weekend, too. So I counted it up. It looked like we were broadcasting over 40 hours from the Memorial Tournament this week as a station. So just one of those times that like it's fun because we can all get together at the same place. So you see some of the hosts that you don't generally see all the time, and we just have fun. And hopefully the weather is as awesome as it is this weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned, and it couldn't, hopefully the weather, yeah, exactly, is just like it is this weekend. And this weekend's going to be phenomenal. You said something that I co-signed. The Memorial weekend, I don't know if it's underrated. I think everybody loves it. Underrated might be the wrong word, but it's awesome, right?
Well, I don't think we think of it like, Thanksgiving weekend and those big time holiday weekends that we all know and talk about. But Memorial Day is as good as it gets because it's more relaxing. I feel like there's not the extra, you're stressed because you have to cook a bunch of meals for people, or, you got to make sure you got a present for somebody. It's less stress. That's why it's a little underrated to me.
I can't believe you just said Thanksgiving, because we're going to do a this or that next hour, and we all love Memorial Day. When Thanksgiving comes around, a lot of us are like, man, I think I like Thanksgiving even more than Christmas because of all now there's football on Christmas though too, but it's just Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. But one of the this or that's is going to be, are you getting with Memorial Day or Thanksgiving?
Ooh.
So keep that in your back pocket. We're going to do like Cam, Scotty, and I are all going to throw some out there. That's going to be one of them. So we'll let you guys think about that. That's going to be the second hour of the show. All right, so look at NBA playoffs real quick. The Timberwolves, big win last night, 143-101. Thunder lead the series 2-1, but we have a series again. Or do we? I mean, the Thunder, you look at the odds to win the series, Scotty, it's still minus 1,000 for OKC, plus 660 for the T-Wolves. I want to focus on a local angle here. Mike Conley Jr. is having one of the most underrated NBA careers of any Ohio State player. Dare I say maybe the most underrated? Because we talk about other guys. We know like John Havlicek is, one of one as far as Ohio State players in the NBA, in the playoffs especially. And I was curious. We were doing this before the show, so I looked it up. Mike Conley, as of last night, he played in his 106th career playoff game. He's played in 106 career playoff games. So he's played in a full season plus 24 games in the playoffs. So I'm like, man, the playoffs have changed over the years. There's more playoff games now. There's more series. Did he actually play in more playoff games than the great John Havlicek from those awesome Celtics teams, those dynasties? No, he didn't. Havlicek played in 172 playoff games, averaged 22 points a game, let me look this up and make sure I don't get this wrong. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4.8 assists, won a ton of titles, 1.1 steals. I mean, Havlicek was a really good player at Ohio State and then took his game to the next level in the NBA. So, no, when I was thinking, has Mike Conley played more than Havlicek? No, he hasn't. Havlicek just fantastic. But Mike Conley, man, it's just so cool. He had that 1 year here at Ohio State and really put the team, I won't say he put the team on his shoulders in that run to the national championship game because Ron Lewis played great. Greg Oden played great at times. Other guys played really well. But Mike Conley really just was phenomenal during March Madness. And he had no idea. I was down there covering the national championship game that year. I know you were down there, Scotty. We talked to Mike Conley in the locker room after that national championship loss to Florida. And he was asked time and time again, like, do you think you're going to go pro? Any chance you go pro? And he said no. And people then later, when he turned pro, were like, oh, he lied. He was not lying. He was totally sincere. He had no idea. At the time, it was like, Mike Conley will probably be a first-round pick, but late first-round pick. He ended up being the number 4 pick. His stock skyrocketed. But what an NBA career he is putting together, still going strong at the age of 37. 106 career playoff games for Mr. Mike Conley Jr.
It's incredible because you think of all the stars that have come through Ohio State as far as the recruiting rankings and studs that Ohio State's had over the last 20 years. And whether, this OSU basketball team has struggled over the last, 5, 6, 7 years, but there's still been talent coming through because you think about it and, we were talking about Bryce Sensabaugh as a guy who's in the NBA and Branham is in the NBA. And there's just been a ton of talent. Even though Ohio State basketball has been down, there's still been a lot of guys who have been going to the NBA. But as far as if you're thinking of a Mount Rushmore of guys from Ohio State and their careers in the NBA, you got to start kind of thinking about Michael Conley being on that list. I mean, obviously you've got Havlicek and Lucas on that list, but then I think Conley's right there. You think about Michael Redd and what his career ended up being after being a second-round pick and how great he was making it to an Olympics team and having huge contracts with the Milwaukee Bucks. And he's a great example of a guy who should be right there in the list. And then you're talking Jim Jackson as well as another guy right up there. But it's funny to think about all the talent that has come through Ohio State, and probably over the last 25 years, Mike Conley and Michael Redd are probably the two most successful as far as the NBA goes.
Speaking of talent to come through Ohio State, what are the Heisman odds look like for Jeremiah Smith and Julian Sayin this coming year? That's up next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bob, you know what I love the most about you?
Did I pay you to do these commercials?
That and the way you treat your customers.
All right, listen. I will hook you up in our warm, inviting environment. You will be greeted by our top sales professionals that are non-commissioned, but will help guide you through the entire process.
You're my guy, Bob. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com. Tell them Bob Capace sent you.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. It's that time of year where your cooling costs are going to go up because you're trying to cool off your house, but the air is escaping out of your inefficient windows. So get them replaced with Window Nation's efficient windows that'll help you save money on your heating and cooling bills. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. No money down, no interest, no monthly payments until 2027, plus a lifetime warranty from Window Nation. 866-90-NATION to get your estimate today, or windownation.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Well, it is Memorial Day weekend, so let's talk Heisman Trophy. That's exactly what we're going to do here because Jeremiah Smith's odds keep changing. And in the ESPN Bet app, which is what we used to do our betting here on the Money, and we love going out to Hollywood Casino Columbus. But here are the odds on Jeremiah Smith to win the Heisman Trophy. Hold on to something because he is now tied for second. He has tied for second best odds in the ESPN Bet app to win the Heisman Trophy this coming year. Arch Manning's still the favorite at 7-1, and then you have Jeremiah Smith 9-1. Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier are 9-1. And then right after that, you get another Buckeye, Dave. We've got Julian Sayin, who is 15-1. Fifth in the odds to win the Heisman Trophy. So that's kind of wild that Jeremiah Smith, because the day after the national championship game, I did go in and I grabbed him at 18-1 to win the Heisman. And there's a little bit of a cash out offer on that. I'm not taking it. I love the position at 18-1. 9-1, I don't love those odds because you do have some big name quarterbacks coming back. Those other guys that are up there. To me, I wouldn't touch it at 9-1. 18-1 was serious value. What's your opinion? Because at this point, single-digit odds for a wide receiver, and I know he's a superstar, and I believe he's the best player in college football. It's just hard to imagine single-digit odds for a position player before the season starts.
Yeah, Scott, it's very interesting to me that the odds have been cut in half because of everything you mentioned. It's so hard for a wide receiver to win it, all the things you can think of. But then, I thought more about it. I'm thinking, well, this is one of those rare years where you go into it. It's like, is there really like a favorite? If Arch Manning is the favorite, he was a guy that he wasn't a true freshman last year. I think this is important. He was in his second year last year. If he was an absolute stud in his second year, would he have been able to beat out 7th-round pick Quinn Ewers? Is that reasonable? So I don't know. I think because of his last name is a big reason he's getting the hype he is. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good quarterback, but the point is he's the clear Heisman front runner, a guy that, hasn't even really started. I know he started like one game or something like that when Ewers had a minor injury. So it's a year where you don't have a clear favorite. Even some of the other guys like Nussmeier and Klubnik, do we really think that they're going to win the Heisman? I guess it's possible. He is the best player in college football. It's just so hard for a wide receiver to win it. So I find it interesting that enough money has come in on him to move that in a relatively short period of time, a couple of months, from 18. And when you're in the offseason, that's a relatively short period of time, right? If it was midseason, it definitely wouldn't be. But 18-1 to 9-1 in that short of a period of time, pretty interesting.
Well, it just feels like it's name brand, right? And we've talked about this. The reason why I loved the value on it was because Ohio State is starting out that game with Texas, and every eyeball, anybody who cares at all about college football is watching that game, right? So you have that showcase opportunity right out of the gates. Because let's say he comes out, multiple touchdowns, Buckeyes win that game, then you're looking at that 9-1 probably goes down to like 5-1 if he comes out with a couple touchdowns and Ohio State wins that game.
True.
Because then again, the rest of the year, Ohio State still has other showcase opportunity games, including the fact that, you're going to have Michigan at the end, and then you would think potentially a Big Ten championship game at the end as well. So I think that's the big reason why I wanted to invest, because of that showcase opportunity right out of the gates. And Dave, don't you believe this a little bit? So Texas obviously slowed down Jeremiah Smith big time in the college football playoff last year. But doesn't that, to me, for me, it feels like, okay, that's extra motivation that game one, he's coming out with big time numbers.
Yeah, and I know you had to go to the offshore sports books to do it, but if anybody took, I believe you took Carnell Tate to hit the over. I think he did like in the first, whatever his yards were, I think he did like in the first quarter. Here's the thing about doubling J.J. Smith, and you're right, it will motivate him more in the Texas game this year. So I think, I also think Texas learned their lesson that Ohio State has too many receivers. And despite losing Emeka Egbuka, they bring back Jeremiah Smith. They bring back Carnell Tate. They bring back Brandon Ennis. Mylan Graham's on the rise. And what do? They get the luxury item. They didn't even really need a tight end in the portal. If you go into the season with Will Kazmarek as your main blocker, also Bennett Christian can do that. Then you have Jelani Thurman as your playmaker, that guy that can really go down the seam and make big plays for you. You're feeling good about tight end. They have a freshman that looked good as well in the spring. Then you out and get Max Clare, the best tight end in the portal. Good luck. If you double J.J. Smith, it's like pick your poison. They're just so loaded, and about time Brian Hartline got this wide receiver room loaded, huh?
Yeah, seriously. Well, and then we spent the whole segment talking about Jeremiah Smith at 9-1, but then you got the quarterback at 15-1 with Sayin. So that's kind of interesting that, again, he hasn't, had anything significant so far yet, but he is 15-1 to win the Heisman Trophy.
So I imagine Keen Holtz is then sixth best, because it is a 50-50 best. So Keen Holtz is sixth. Not quite. Okay. Vegas is not buying that it's a 50-50 battle.
That would
apparently
be Dante Moore at 16-1, and then Drew Aller 18.
Oh, keep it in the Big Ten though. Dante Moore from Oregon,
or Drew Aller 18.
Or Drew. Yeah. How about that?
All right. When we come back, there was a list of top 25 college football programs of the top 25 years. Was Ohio State one? Was Alabama number one? You'll find out next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at ChangeTheGameOhio.org. That's ChangeTheGameOhio.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
Welcome back to On the Money. 971 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle, joined by Scotty Vegas. We have producer Cam Taylor at the controls. All right. Interesting story on The Athletic this week. The top 25 college football programs of the 2000s. So from the year 2000 until right now, I guess wrapping up the 2024 season. So who's been the number one team of the 2000s? You have to think right away. It's got to be Bama, right? I mean, as good as Ohio State's been the most consistent. But Ohio State has 3 national championships, which is great since 2002. 3 this century, but Bama's had 6, and I know they started off slow this century, but then Saban got there, and they were just an absolute dynasty while he was there. So it's got to be Alabama 1, right, Scott?
No, Dave. No.
Is it maybe a team that's local?
It's a local team.
Live and local, baby.
Live and local. And again, this is Stuart Mandel's rankings, top 25 programs last 25 years. And he does have Ohio State as number 1. And kind of the reason for that is the consistency for Ohio State over Alabama. Now, you and I were talking about this in the break. The number of national championships Alabama has won, the dynasty, as you said, of Nick Saban and the success, that it's hard for us to get to the point where we'd say over the last 25 years that you'd put Ohio State over Alabama. Just think of it this way, in my opinion. If you could trade the last 25 years of Ohio State football for the last 25 years of Alabama football, would you do it? And the answer to me is absolutely, because of the national championships. Now, Ohio State has 3, which is awesome. And Ohio State is a clear number 2. There's a big gap between number 2 and number 3 in these rankings. But to me, I'm surprised because I would absolutely trade the 25 years of Ohio State for the 25 years of Alabama.
Yeah, it's crazy. Here we are. We're on the flagship station, and we're not just 2 guys on the flagship station who are like neutral. We don't even pretend to be neutral. And I feel like I am a realist. I feel like I shoot people straight with Ohio State football, but I make no secrets where my allegiances lie. And so I'm pleasantly surprised they're number one. But we're having this conversation in Columbus, Ohio, two guys who love the Buckeyes. Imagine the conversation in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They must be apoplectic about this. Not that this is just fun stuff. It's May. As we always say, what are you guys talking about? It's we have a saying at Bucknuts. I'm sure you guys use it here too. It's we use it here. It's it's May. We got to find things to talk about when it comes to college football. So it's fun, but I'm pleasantly surprised Ohio State is ahead of Alabama, because if you just use winning percentage and consistency, they certainly are. But national championship banners hang forever. It's just, I would take, it was a slow start to the century for Bama. Give me the dynasty. Give me the 6 national titles over the 3.
Yeah, well, and let's get into some of the specifics of why Stuart Mandel did rank Ohio State above Alabama. And I can get there with him on a lot of this. And, here's the deal. There were 6 seasons where Alabama was mediocre. So that was a big reason why he said Ohio State has only had 5 seasons out of 25 where they won fewer than 10 games. Okay, so we talked about the consistency. And one of those seasons, by the way, that they didn't win 10 games was the COVID year, where they couldn't win 10 games because it was an 8-game season for Ohio State. Ohio State's won 3 national championships, played for 3 more, and craziest of all, he says it has been ranked in the top 25 in nearly 93% of the AP polls since 2000. So you think about that, 93% of the time they've been in the top 25. And yes, the consistency makes sense. And then, Dave, the other thing is percentage of games won. Ohio State has won 84% of their games over the last 25 years, whereas Alabama's at 78%. Still, despite those numbers, despite the reasoning, I would absolutely trade the 25 years of Ohio State with the 25 years of Alabama.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm just, hey, listen, I'm not going to argue any further. I'm glad that I'm pleasantly surprised that the Buckeyes are number 1, Bama's number 2. And as you mentioned, those are the only 2 that came to mind. I would have bet, I would have lost money. I would have bet Alabama 1, Ohio State 2. Because when you look at 3, I'm trying to guess. It could be Georgia. It could be Oklahoma. Who else? LSU's won 3 titles this century with Nick Saban. This is what cracks me up. LSU's a pretty good job when Les Miles and Coach O won a national title there. Right. Those 2 dudes won a national title there. But seriously, I don't think LSU would be up there.
Well, what's funny, I'm going to stop you before
Georgia
you guess.
Or Oklahoma.
Before you guess, Dave, I will tell you the 3 schools you named are 3, 4, and 5 on this list. So you're right in there as far as guessing. Now you just got to get the order of Oklahoma, Georgia, and LSU. What's the order of those 3? Because you're right, and those are the 3, 4, and 5 on this list. Again, top 25 teams.
He's not putting enough emphasis on national championships, in my opinion. Oklahoma's only won 1, but I think they've been more consistent. I'll go with Oklahoma 3rd.
That's right. Yeah, Oklahoma is 3rd.
I'd put Georgia ahead of Oklahoma just because they've won 2 and Oklahoma's won 1.
I know.
And if the winning percentage is that close, and you have 2 titles, and Georgia had a lot of near misses with Rick, not necessarily near misses of titles, but they had a lot of years where they were in it, but they did. So I imagine Georgia's winning percentage is pretty close to Oklahoma's. Give me the 2 titles over the 1. It's the same rationale. Alabama's won twice as many titles as Ohio State this century.
Well, and the other thing you could argue, Dave, is Oklahoma played in the Big 12, which the competition in the Big 12 not even comparable to what it's been over the last 25 years in the SEC.
As they're finding out.
So to me, ranking, yeah, exactly. So to me, and Dave, consider how bad Oklahoma's been over the last 4 or 5 years too. I mean, I'm surprised but Oklahoma's 3, Georgia 4, LSU 5, and then rounding out the top 10. And again, this is the list of top 25 programs over the last 25 years. 6 they have as Clemson. Makes sense.
That makes it 2 titles. Oh, Florida's got to be in there with Urban.
A team without a national championship is next.
Notre Dame?
Nope.
Without a national championship.
In the last 25 years, they did not win one.
Penn State?
Nope.
Oregon?
There you go.
Nice.
Oregon is 7.
I think Florida's in there with 2 titles. No,
Florida's 10. USC is 8.
Okay.
And you think about obviously the time of Leinart and Bush and all those guys, and then Texas is 9. Florida is 10.
Again, not giving enough emphasis for national championships. I know. That shows you how good Urban is, though. How was Florida before he got there? They won 1 national title ever before he got there. Spurrier. He won 2 for them. Then they were like, Urban, we don't need you. And how have you done since then without him?
By the way, Michigan is 11. Notre Dame is 13, and Wisconsin 16, Penn State 17. Again, this is Stuart Mandel's top 25 programs in college football over the last 25 years.
Well, Ohio State continues to, I shouldn't say continues to. I think overall the basketball programs landed some solid transfers, but they need to get a wing. They just struck out on one. Might they get one from Serbia? Might they go back to that well? That's up next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at ChangeTheGameOhio.org. That's ChangeTheGameOhio.org.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax, and not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking. An account that's filled with features, but no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. Because it's your money, right? So we think you should keep it. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is bringing the funny this summer. Tiffany Haddish takes the mic on Friday, July 18th with the Funny and Fearless Tour. Then Dion Cole Live hits the stage Friday, September 5th for a night of nonstop laughs. 2 comedy icons, 2 unforgettable nights. Get your friends, grab a drink, and get ready to laugh all night long. Big names, big laughs, only at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. Visit HollywoodColumbus.com for more details. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
At 9 Trees Landscape Construction, we have high expectations. Can you deliver excellence in hardscape at the highest level? Does your current company compensate you at the highest level? For 25 years, 9 Trees compensates excellence with wages and benefits packages guaranteed better than your current employer. Guaranteed. Call 614-921-9595 or apply at 9treeslc.com today to join 9 Trees Landscape Construction and elevate your career to be your best with us.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Time to do a little assessment on the Ohio State basketball offseason. Big reason for that is there were all kinds of rumors out there that Ohio State was going after hard a small forward/4 from Texas Tech, Darion Williams, who was fantastic last year for Texas Tech. He was a top 10 transfer. It felt like Ohio State would have been a perfect fit because Ohio State is kind of looking for a wing player, needs a guy with some size and the ability to score from outside, and he was it. And unfortunately, it sounds like NC State may have outbid Ohio State. And so, again, that was a devastating loss for those that kind of follow Ohio State basketball transfer portal because he's a guy who I think could have moved Ohio State from being what's projected as probably a top 25 team to maybe even a top 10 team if you had gotten him. That's how big of a difference it would be. Now, the offseason mostly was spent on retaining the guys who were here previously. Obviously, it's exciting having guys back like Junie Mobley's back, Bruce Thornton's back, Devin Royal's back. That was kind of the talk that we were saying right after the season. Is you have got to retain the core guys. Now, you do move on from Evan Mahaffey, you move on from Sean Stewart, you move on from Aaron Bradshaw, but I don't think there's any tears shed for any of those. Maybe Sean Stewart was a little bit of surprise. But as far as this offseason goes, you add in a big from out west, out in the West Coast Conference, Christopher Tilley. He's a guy who's going to be coming in here. And then you've got Brandon Noel from Wright State. You got Gabe Cupps coming in from Indiana. You got a big from Baylor that they're hoping will be recovered in time for the start of the season. But kind of assess for me, Dave, what you think as far as this Ohio State offseason.
Overall, I've liked it. It just feels like they missed out on the final piece. Now, they could still, there's still wings out there. There's a 20-year-old who's played a couple of years of professional basketball in Europe. His name is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name. Last name is Stankovic.
Ooh, Stankovic.
Weird Al Stankovic, who is a 20-year-old from Serbia. But here's the thing. He's got a lot of good programs interested in him. Look at this list. Kansas. I don't like seeing Kansas on there. Ohio State, of course, Missouri, Rutgers, Seton Hall, St. Mary's, UCF, or some of the schools interested in him. There's also another Serbian guy they're looking at. Obviously, Big Ivan, the center they have there, is from Croatia. Maybe he can help bring in a fellow European player to this program. They need to get a wing. They really don't have a wing because Devin Royal could play the 3, but he's more of an undersized 4, but a good undersized 4. You have Colin White. I know he's a former Mr. Basketball here in Ohio, but he's not ready to be what they need. They need Micah Parrish of last year. It's funny because last year in the portal, they did terrible other than Micah Parrish. They were 1 for 5 in the portal last year. 1 for 5.
You know what's funny, Dave, is I remember you and I were doing the show last summer, and we were kind of like, oh, Micah Parrish. He was the one we were kind of least excited about.
Yeah, it's he shot. Didn't he shoot 29% the previous year from 3?
Yeah, again, he was coming from San Diego State, and he had tournament experience and all that stuff, but his numbers were nothing to get too excited about, and he ended up being the most successful of all the ones. So I guess you don't know how things are going to play out. And I do like some of the things that they've done, but the home run, the Grand Slam offseason would have been bringing Williams in. And you just hate because Ohio State basketball needs that year to get everybody back into it, right? It needs to be a year where, quite frankly, it has to be a tournament team. I think it has to be a team that's top 4 or 5 in the Big Ten, and you need to get juice back in this program. And losing out on Williams hurts. It really does, because I was really excited about it. Now, I will say this, Dave. ESPN Bracketology, Joe Lunardi has already put out a new bracketology this week, he did, and he had Ohio State as projected as a 4 seed. So for him, he's got Ohio State as a top 16 team coming into this year.
That's a little rich.
I know. I thought that too. I'm like, really? Top 16 team?
Does he think we're going to get Stankovic? Is that why? I do want this kid. I obviously would have preferred Darion Williams, but there's something to be said for would be coming here as a grown man-ish. He'll be 21 by the time he came here. It's a couple years of professional basketball under his belt. 6'8", good passer. Decent shooter, pretty good defensively, good length at 6'8". Looks like he can add some muscle. Almost looks like a couple inch shorter Tony Kukoc. That's kind of what he just looks like as I'm watching him right now. But they've got to get another wing. This guy seems like he'd be a good fit.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people thinking that Colin White will take a big step forward, and I hope he does. I think, but here's the thing. Ohio State has a lot of guys that are coming off injuries too, right? Gabe Cupps is a guy they're relying on as a backup guard. He's coming off a serious injury. Oh, by the way, there's a lot of people relying too on Tayson Chapman. The talent is probably there with him. He was a high recruit, But when you're coming off another injury, like, can you really trust it? It kind of reminds me, Dave, of that year when Ohio State was kind of relying on Seth Towns coming in here after an injury. Like, okay, Seth Towns is talented, was really good at Harvard, but he is coming off a major injury. But gosh, the talent's great. And then he gets here and the injury really slowed him down and you never got out of him what you thought you could. So it kind of makes me a little nervous how many injured guys are coming off injuries in this backcourt.
Just to be optimistic real quick about this, I feel like I like the overall roster right now. If they can find, it doesn't have to be a superstar, if they can find a good wing, I'll feel good about this team. And Scotty, they have one spot to fill. They know exactly what they need. I know the pool is shrinking, but hopefully Jake Diebler can get it done. And I know it's not just on him. They need the NIL backing as well. It's a little disappointing that NC State outbid Ohio State. Although Ryan Baker, he was telling us before the show, he's hearing it could be, obviously money played a role there, but could be like that kid just wanted to play for Will Wade.
Yeah, that's another factor, right? Will Wade coming from McNeese State to NC State, kind of a name. He's had success. It sounds like that may have played a part in it as well. You know what? There's only 14 more weeks without NFL football on our TVs, and so we are getting closer. Odds are updating. There's been NFL news this week we need to get into. That's next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One. This is where you go to get better.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-345-2789. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-345-2789. That's 800-345-2789 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-345-2789.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
The Tush Push lives. Yeah, I mean, it cracked me up, guys, when I saw the headline. Like, it got contentious. Like, tempers flared during the meetings of whether they should do the Tush Push. Tempers flared with these NFL owners. It turns out that Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, gave a very heartfelt hour-long speech to save the Tush Push. So, I don't know. I just got some chuckles out of that headline, Scotty.
Oh, and I'm all in for keeping the Tush Push. I really am, because, look, my feeling is, yeah, the Eagles can do it. Any team can do it, right? You can perfect it like the Eagles have, and it's brilliant. Like, I'm sorry that it's a play that works significantly for the Eagles, and some teams don't like it. Figure out a way to stop it, or run it yourself and perfect it yourself. I think it's a good play. Why punish somebody for coming up with a really within the rules play, a really good play to pick up short yardage? I think it's absolutely brilliant. I'm glad it's staying.
It's interesting because for years you couldn't do that. I don't know if like it used to be legal back in the day, which was, I'm guessing it was, and then they outlawed it for years. You just couldn't push somebody in. Remember, like, there was that Notre Dame game against USC.
Reggie Bush.
Yes. And that was actually illegal when he pushed Matt Leinart in, but they didn't call it, right? So at some point they changed the rule. And I did hear somebody say something that I totally agree with. Like, whatever you think about the Tush Push, it would have been a bad look to ban it right after the Eagles win the Super Bowl. It'd be like, oh, so you can't beat us, so you're going to take away one of our key plays. Like, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Like, I don't really have a strong feeling about it, but like, yeah, it's not like just the Eagles are allowed to do it. You're allowed to try and stop it, and you're allowed to do it yourself.
Yeah.
If you're the Jets, I know he's not quite as strong as Hurts. Hurts can like squat like 900 pounds or something like that. I might be exaggerating just a tad, but Justin Fields is a strong dude. If you're the Jets, do the same thing with Justin Fields as much as possible when you're near the goal line, or if you need it's 4th and 1.
So Ohio State ran it a couple times this year because the year before, Ohio State was so bad in short yardage. Like, it was so frustrating. It was like you have all the talent in the world, and you can't pick up a yard or 2 yards, or you have to, run some exotic plays.
Was afraid to run.
Yeah, you had to run some exotic plays to try and pick up a yard, and it was crazy. And you're watching the NFL on Sundays, and you're like, just sneak the ball. Right. And, you're just yelling that at the TV. And then finally, Ohio State this last year was able to run it a couple times. I don't think they were ever, like, stuffed with it, right? Did Ohio State ever be stopped with the Tush Push? Like, I don't know why you would ever stop doing it, to be honest.
They went from one of the worst red zone short yardage teams in the country to one of the best in the span of a year. And it wasn't just Will Howard. That was a big part of it, but it was using that. It was the quarterback run. You have to have the quarterback run. If you don't, that's a defensive coordinator's like dream. If he knows that the quarterback's not going to run, he can pinch those defensive ends. He doesn't worry about your quarterback running, and that's what happened to Ohio State the previous year. The opposing defenses knew that McCord was no threat to run, and then this year you had, and then you brought in Quinshon Judkins, who's a really good, goal line back. You had Will Howard, who could run it. You had Chip Kelly designing plays. So hopefully they keep that in. That's one thing Lincoln Keen holds. You don't want to have a 2-quarterback system. That's not what I'm suggesting. But I don't think bringing a guy in at the goal line here and there is necessarily a 2-quarterback system. He's definitely a better runner, and he's definitely stronger than Julian.
No, you wouldn't call that a 2-quarterback system. I mean, it's like when they brought in Devin Brown a couple times. Would you have called that? No, that's not a 2-quarterback system.
And I know it's not the same thing, or when Cordell Stewart would play for the Steelers back and they slash, that wasn't really a 2-quarterback system.
5 plays a game, maybe.
Exactly. All right. Memorial Tournament's going to be going on. It begins Thursday. Scotty and I have a show out there next Sunday, and Scotty has some bets that he really likes for the Memorial Tournament. That's up next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and add considerable value to your property. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
All right, Jack's tournament begins on Thursday. We're going to be out there. The fans going to be out there for about, what, you said over 40 hours of live programming? That is awesome. You talk about live and local. We got you. Scotty and I are going to be doing On the Money next Sunday. Same time as always, 9 to 11, but we're going to be there live at the Memorial. Come out and say hi to us if you are going to be out there. And among the many things that are great about the Memorial Tournament is we can bet on it. And Scotty has Scotty's for those who don't know, I don't know if you're a loyal listener to the show, you know this. Scotty's really good at sports gambling, period. His forte is definitely golf. Like, he's been kicked off of multiple sites because he's too good. He wins too much money. You know how if you're losing money, they don't kick you off. If you start winning too much money, they'll kick you off. That's Scotty, so he's got some good bets for you. Mr. Vegas, take it away.
Well, here's the deal with the Memorial Tournament. So the odds will come out probably tonight after the end of the tournament, the Colonial, this week. So that'll end. Scotty Scheffler, relatively in contention there. He's 6 shots back. He had a bad first 2 days there where he couldn't make a putt and had kind of the lefts on his drive. But I will tell you what, I think Scotty Scheffler will come in and probably be about 4-1 to win the Memorial Tournament. It's an elevated event, so you get most of the huge names. Unfortunately, Rory McIlroy is not going to be there. So that'll change the Scotty odds a little bit more in the favor of Scotty, because not having the second biggest name, or the second, he might even be a bigger name than Scotty Scheffler, but probably the second best player in the world, and Rory McIlroy not being there changes those odds. But for me, Scotty Scheffler is coming off. He won the Memorial Tournament last year. And, oh, by the way, we know he won the PGA Championship. He won the tournament before that. He's in contention this week. I think you'd be kind of crazy to invest any money in any long shots other than Scotty Scheffler. And I think he'll be around 4-1. And I will absolutely be taking him at 4-1. If you're a golf bettor and you're looking at 4-1 odds, you're like, that's not all that enticing. but the dude has just been amazing. Like yesterday, I'm watching him. He is so good. His game is so good. If he can get the putter hot, then he can lap fields. That's how good he is. Is literally, if he is putting well, nobody else has a shot. That's how good he is. So a couple other big names that are going to be in it. Ludwig Oberg is a really big name. You'll see him up there near the top of the odds board. You'll see a former winner, Hideki Matsuyama. You'll see Colin Morikawa, who's won. I think he won the Workday here. But yeah, to me, it's Scotty versus the field. And Dave, I would take Scotty. That's how dominant he is right now.
Yeah, 4-1's not that bad. I mean, you're right. You'd prefer it because you've won a lot of money over the years with some of these real long shot odds. Not long shot, but much longer odds than that. But yeah, especially as you mentioned with Rory being out, that helps Scotty. Is Rory, does he just need some rest, or is he nursing an injury, or do we not know?
We don't officially know.
Or does he hate Jack Nicklaus?
No. Here's the deal. It's a little bit tricky because the U.S. Open is so close, right? And so these guys kind of pick and choose their like lead-up events. Usually Rory's playing here as an elevated event with the purse that's available here. It's a little surprising that Rory's not playing. But, yeah, sometimes they kind of choose when to come and go as far as how they want to tune up for a major. And Rory's taking the week off.
Milkshakes next week?
Oh, yeah.
They're only for the players, though, unless you know Anthony Rothman. And
he can sneak you a milkshake.
He can sneak you a milkshake. Yeah. And they're like, what a cool idea, Jack, back in the day. And they still do it. And the players all love it. What a cool idea.
It's so good, too. Yeah, I mean, the tradition, they even have, like, milkshake hats now.
Heck yeah.
Where they'll sell a hat in the pro shop with a milkshake on it. It's amazing.
Love me a good milkshake. All right. Now, we're going to take your calls next. The first hour of the show is in the books. Stick around for the second hour. We're going to take your calls on anything. Could be golf betting, could be sports gambling overall, Ohio State football, anything. The number is 614-821-9710. 614-821-9710. This is On the Money.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes!
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit ohiomulch.com today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free Healthy Leg Screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Their semi-annual sale includes 4 free windows with the purchase of 4 windows, a free entry door, and no money down interest or payments until 2027. Hurry, the sale ends soon. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and tell me if this sounds familiar. Over the weekend, you went into your closet trying on shorts from last year. They were all too tight, so you searched deeper in the closet, looking through shorts you stashed away from thinner years. Maybe a big pair had gotten lost in the mix. No luck. Well, I'm here to tell you, don't buy bigger shorts. Instead, do what I did and fit into the ones from last year in just a few weeks with Awaken 180 weight loss. Heck, you'll be wearing your thin shorts again just a few weeks after that. How do I know? Because I'm still wearing my thin Austin shorts again this summer. I've kept my 50 pounds off thanks to Awaken 180's free maintenance support for life. Say it with me. I won't buy bigger shorts. Make that pledge, then call Awaken 180 and make the most out of this summer and every summer after. Awaken 180, your long-term solution for weight loss. Call 844-346-1800 or head online at awaken180weightloss.com. You won't regret it.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports.
And I'm Cam Taylor. The Columbus Crew lost their second game of the season last night as they fell to Charlotte FC 3-2 on the road. The Crew will next play Nashville SC on Wednesday at home at 8 p.m. Cincinnati Reds snapped a 3-game losing streak with their 6-4 win over the Chicago Cubs yesterday. The Redlegs will play the Cubs again today in a rubber match game at 1:40. Coverage will start on the Fan at 1:10. The Cleveland Guardians beat the Detroit Tigers 7-5 in 10 innings yesterday. Cleveland is on a 4-game winning streak and can sweep Detroit this morning starting at 11:35. The Minnesota Timberwolves blew out the OKC Thunder 143-101 for their first win in the Western Conference Finals. Minnesota will have a chance to tie the series at 2 games apiece tomorrow at 8:30. And tonight, the New York Knicks will look to not go down 3-0 on the road against the Indiana Pacers at 8 p.m. And the 109th Indianapolis 500 will take place this afternoon starting at 12:45.
Scotty's kids don't ask how his day was. They ask if all his bets won. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
Welcome back to On the Money, 97.1 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by Scott Prokop. We, of course, like to call him Scotty Vegas. We have producer Cam Taylor at the controls. And right about now, my friends, it is time for the Parlay Party. Hit it, Cam. Parlay Party is when we celebrate anything we want to celebrate. Could be a nice parlay that we hit. Could be anything at all. Scotty Vegas, what are you celebrating?
I'm telling you guys, Memorial Day weekend, one of the most underrated holiday weekends of the year. Absolutely love it. We got incredible weather this weekend. It's kind of that unofficial start to summer where you're like, oh, yeah, pools start to open up. You smell the grills. You walk outside and you're on your back patio and you smell like 2 or 3 neighbors around you are cooking steaks or burgers or hot dogs on the grill. Absolutely love this weekend and love the fact that we are getting great weather for it. I'm also excited the fact that, hey, this coming week, Memorial Tournament, baby. You and I are going to be broadcasting out there next Sunday. The Fan has over 40 hours of live coverage from the Memorial. It's one of my favorite Columbus sports events of the year. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for next weekend.
Can't wait.
I'm going to be doing a little golf this afternoon. So, yes, all good. Loving it. And, Dave, another thing I'm loving, and we're going to get more into it later on in this segment, I'm loving that the college football world has been settled down a little bit in the fact that the college football playoffs, it's not going to go 1 through 4 seeding to conference champs anymore. It's now going to go, believe it or not, to the top 4 teams in college football. We'll get more into that. That's what I'm celebrating. Dave, what are you celebrating on this Sunday?
Definitely I'm celebrating this awesome weather we've been having. Like, had it yesterday, we're having it today, we're going to have it tomorrow. This is just perfect weather for Memorial Day weekend. I'm here for it. Looking forward to my first big cookout of the year. I'm cooking out tomorrow, getting out the charcoal grill. Nothing fancy, just some steak, chicken, and then either burgers or dogs, haven't decided. But heavy on the steak and chicken. Something about grilled chicken, man, right off the grill. It's just I like grilled chicken, period, but grilled chicken, like hot off the grill, get out of here. It is so good. And like Scotty said, man, I'm celebrating the Memorial Tournament. I'm celebrating that now I know that going in the exit there is frowned upon. Is that type of thing frowned upon? If I have to plead ignorance. I had no idea. So I'm going to park going in the entrance this year. But seriously, I'm looking forward to going out and seeing the Memorial. It is such a cool event, and very honored that we get to host a show out there next Sunday. So definitely looking forward to all of those things and celebrating those things. Cam, my man, what are you celebrating?
Definitely always looking forward to the Memorial Tournament, getting a chance to go out there, help out, work the event, but get to have like a bunch of these top class golfers come into our town, come into our city, and have a great competition at Jack's Place. And then just this weather and having a day off from work tomorrow. So definitely looking forward to that as well.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a key one right there.
Yeah.
And I should have said I'm celebrating. We're going to take your calls if anybody wants to call in, give us a comment, give us a question about really anything. Sports gambling, Ohio State football, Memorial Tournament, anything. 614-821-9710. 614-821-9710. But like Scotty mentions, now, and we'll probably, let's just go with definitely at this point, even though that's not official. And what will definitely be the final year of the 12-team college football playoff, because after 2 years, they got to change, right? We're not upset about that because every time they expand the playoff, what happens? Ohio State wins.
Yeah.
So
we should be betting
okay
Ohio State to win it next year, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So maybe not this year, but like in 2026 for sure. All right. So what they're making the very smart move of they're just going to take, when they seed the teams, the 12 teams, what they're going to do is they're going to take the top 12 teams in the committee's rankings, and just do it like that. What an interesting concept. It's the exact same thing that, not that it was just you and I, but like everybody who follows the sport was saying that why don't you just do it like this instead of this? Well, now they are doing it instead of this, instead of that. A little this or that.
At least they're doing it, Dave.
Yes, at
right?
least they're doing it.
I was afraid we were going to have another year of the stupidity of what we saw last year as far as how the seeding goes. I mean, like, I understand that you want to value conference championships, and I agree. Let's value conference championships by getting you a ticket into the playoff. Now, just because in college basketball a team wins their conference tournament at the end of the year doesn't mean that they are automatically locked into a certain seed, right? Like, I think it was an absolutely ridiculous way to do it. Now, it worked out for Ohio State. They ended up being the 8th seed. They got the home playoff game. Now, I did pull up what if the format was the same for this coming year, for this last year, what would have been Ohio State's path to the national championship. And their first game, instead of being a home game against Tennessee, Ohio State would have been a 6 seed. They would have played Arizona State, an 11 seed. So that would have been their first round game in Columbus instead of Tennessee.
At Sun Devil Stadium East?
Yes. and then the quarterfinal game, instead of Ohio State playing Oregon in the Rose Bowl, obviously Oregon was the 1 seed, Ohio State would have played against Texas as the 3 seed. So their quarterfinal game would have been against Texas. And then seeding wise, they would have played Georgia in the semifinal, who was the number 2 seed. So I'm just glad they fixed it, to be honest, because for a long time, it looked like, Dave, they were going to stay with the same mistake for another year. Like, okay, let's not overreact. 1 year where it was stupid. Maybe next year it would work out. But fortunately, they got together, and the 12 team, it's just going to be ranked. Now, if you win your conference championship and you're a top 5 conference, you are automatically in to the playoff. You're just not slotted into one of those top 4 seeds who gets a bye.
And next year, meaning 2026, not this coming year, it's going to be 12 teams this coming year. 2025, let's be clear of that. It's in 2026, they're going to expand. It's either going to be 14 or 16. Now there's a lot of smoke. It's going to be 16. Stuart Mandel on The Athletic does not like Tony Petitti at all. He doesn't like this idea of the automatic 4 bids for the Big Ten and the SEC regardless. The thing is, though, and he actually makes this point. He's like, well, they'll argue that they're going to get 4 in regardless, so what's the problem? He's like, yeah, so why do you need it in writing? I get it, but like the Big Ten and SEC have all the power. So if they go to 16 or even if they go to 14, here's how they're going to do it. Let's say they go to 16, which seems most likely now that because, follow the money, right? If they're going to go to 14, but they could go to 16, they'll go to 16. So you're going to have 4 automatics for the Big Ten, 4 automatics for the SEC. So that gets us to 8 of the 16. You get 2 for the ACC, 10, 2 for the Big 12. All right, we're up to 12. And you say, oh, well, only 2 for the Big 12. That's twice as many they got in this past year. They're probably not upset about having that, too. For people that are like, oh, this is bad for the Big 12. Really? If I was the Big 12, I'd be happy to have 2 automatic bids. I wouldn't. ACC can make maybe more of an argument. All right, so that gets us to 12. All right, and then you're going to have 1. It's going to be the best group of 5 team, best group of 5 conference champion. I like that. I don't think they should have a first-round bye, but I think they should be guaranteed a spot, seat at the table, so to speak. And then 3 at-larges. If Notre Dame is one of them, then you get 2 more.
Yeah.
And those will probably be one from the Big Ten and one from the SEC. It wouldn't be, or at least one. I wouldn't be surprised like 3 teams from the ACC and 5 from the SEC. But if we go to 16 teams with 3, first of all, those 4 automatic bids for the Big Ten and SEC, and then you have 3 at large, I bet you either the Big Ten, SEC, or both will get 2 of those at-large bids. You'll have 5 from the Big Ten and SEC.
So I'll be honest. I was all about expansion. I love the idea of going 4 to 12. I was all in on that, like sold on it immediately. Loved it. I don't know that I love going from 12 to 16. I actually think, hey, let's keep it at 12 for a little bit longer. That's not going to happen, right? We are going to expand because there's more money in expansion. Now, one thing that's being floated out there that I think college football fans could absolutely fall in love with is they're talking about doing a championship weekend amongst these conferences. And so you talked about multiple automatic bids for conferences. And the way that they're talking about potentially doing that is having on that conference championship Saturday, which generally it's just the 1 and the 2 playing each other in the conference. You might start seeing the Big Ten having their 3rd place team play like the 6th place team, and the 4th place team play the 5th place team for the automatic bids.
Play-in games, huh?
Play-in games.
Are they going to be in Dayton?
They would actually be on campus sites. They've already talked that they would do those at the highest seeded teams. But that is
Welcome Stadium in Dayton.
Yes. But I like that fact. I think that would make Conference Championship Saturday a little bit more intriguing, where let's say you had 3 Big Ten games where you had the number 3 versus the number 6, and you're kind of playing for an automatic bid and a kind of a better spot in the bracket. 1 and 2, both teams are making the playoff anyway, so you're looking at the advantage of maybe ending up as a 1 seed. That's the one thing that I like with the expansion is, okay, maybe championship weekend can get a little bit better than we just having 4 or 5 games that day. That's one thing that is attractive in what they're presenting.
You know, it's funny to me with you being like, okay, I like the 12, but 16's like, a little too far. I don't like the expansion. Whenever I bring up like how I initially reacted to, because, initially I changed my mind pretty quickly. Thanks to you. I'll give you a lot of the credit. Initially, when they said 4 to 12, I'm like, come on, we're tripling it. 12's too many, right? I was okay going to 8. And then you said, Dave, more football, more college football, especially high stakes. Like, what's the problem? And I thought about it. I'm like, you're right. What am I? I'm not like, we got to do it this way because we've always done it this way, guy. I'm not. I think that's terrible logic. I just thought 12 initially was too much, but then you talked me into it. But I always use you as an example. It's like, we love college football. Some of us like gambling on college football. What's the problem here? More college football is good, especially these aren't just more like BS games. These are like more playoff games. Good thing, right? Now, yours even saying, no, you got to draw the line. You don't want to kill the golden goose, right? There's got to be a line you draw somewhere, right? And you're saying this is a line too far.
You know where I would actually go if I could really design this exactly how I wanted to? I'd probably go to 14, and then the Big Ten champ and the SEC champ both get a first-round bye. Right. And then you kind of play it out. That to me is a good way to do it. I don't like the idea of 16. Now, I did find a Twitter poll real quick, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It is, what has been the worst thing to happen to college football in the last 5 years? Okay, here are your options.
Ooh, this is good.
This is worst thing to happen to college football in the last 5 years.
All right.
NIL, transfer portal, college football playoff expansion, realignment, or big noon. Those are your 5 options.
All right. Well, that's a this, that, the other, or the other. But up next, it's just this or that on the money.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
we've discovered the perfect morning ritual, the 2 for $6 breakfast sandwich deal at Tim Hortons. Every sandwich is made to order with a freshly cracked egg and melty cheese, just the way breakfast should be. Choose between savory sausage or hickory smoked bacon, served on a toasted English muffin or flaky biscuit. There's no wrong way to mix and match this tasty deal. 2 breakfast sandwiches, just $6. Perfect. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, single item at regular menu price. Modifications and tax extra. Exclusions and additional terms apply.
When we started the company, I was absolutely going to build my own plant. We can build a very, very good window and sell it at a reasonable price. And if you buy from a company that is a dealer, they have to order the part from the factory, have it sent, and then schedule a service. I got 500 locks out back. If you need a lock, it'll take me 15 seconds to walk back here and grab one for you.
Visit Rosati Windows by the end of this month and get 35% off all windows and doors.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
When you're a AAA member, we do the hard stuff for you. So picture this. You're taking a road trip through the mountains at night, and you run out of gas. Do you, A, call AAA, or B, walk 29 miles to the nearest gas station in the pouring rain?
A?
How about this? You need auto insurance. You could A, pick AAA to find the best coverage for you, or B, spend so much time researching insurance jargon that you might as well have gotten a law degree.
Yeah, I'm going with A.
Right. Okay, you're booking a vacation. You can A, have AAA plan it for you, or B, stress so hard about layovers and getting to your cruise that you need a vacation from booking your vacation.
That's easy. A, AAA.
On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Common Man has hosted shows with radio royalty, Spielman, Tor, T-Bone, just to name a few. So listen to his new show with Timmy Hall. If man can pull this one off, he's a miracle worker. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bob, you know what I love the most about you?
That I pay you to do these commercials?
That and the way you treat your customers.
All right, listen. I will hook you up in our warm, inviting environment. You will be greeted by our top sales professionals that are non-commissioned, but will help guide you through the entire process.
You're my guy, Bob. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com. Tell them Bob Capace sent you.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is bringing the funny this summer. Tiffany Haddish takes the mic on Friday, July 18th with the Funny and Fearless Tour. Then Dion Cole Live hits the stage Friday, September 5th for a night of nonstop laughs. 2 comedy icons, 2 unforgettable nights. Get your friends, grab a drink, and get ready to laugh all night long. Big names, big laughs, only at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. Visit HollywoodColumbus.com for more details. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from The Diamond Seller, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Seller, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Seller on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondseller.com.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops.
Scream for ice cream.
The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Aaron White with your forecast here for your Sunday. We're tracking more cloud cover across the area and the chance for a couple of rain showers, but otherwise most of us will stay dry. High temperatures into the mid-60s for today. And then tonight, partly cloudy skies, lows into the upper 40s to near 50. By Monday for your Memorial Day, we're tracking a mix of clouds and sunshine and highs back into the lower 70s before we talk about rain and cooler temperatures back in the forecast here for your Tuesday. And that's a look at your 10 Weather Impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Dave Biddle was caught trying to bet on office ping pong matchups. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
So we're going to get to this or that in just a couple minutes. However, I ran across a really fun college football poll that's out there, and it was very interesting to me and really got me thinking, because the question is, worst thing to happen to college football in the last 5 years. Now, some of these to me are actually good things that have happened in college football. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 5 things and we're going to rank them from worst to best that have happened in college football over the last 5 years. Now, the 5 things are NIL, the transfer portal, college football playoff expansion, realignment by conferences, and then the last one is Big Noon, which is obviously noon kickoffs. So those are the 5. Let's rank them from 5 to 1. Basically, what you think the worst to the best.
The worst gets the 5, right?
Worst is 5. What is the worst of the last 5 years?
Okay, I'll start. I think the worst is realignment, and it's been good overall for the Big Ten, but it's like, man, I mean, I get it. It's just so weird, man, having those 4 West Coast teams in there, and having, really, we're down to a power 2 with the Big Ten and the SEC. So if you're a Big Ten fan like we are, I guess, if you're selfish, you're like, okay, this is actually a good thing. I get that, but it's just weird, man. You got Cal and Stanford in the ACC. It's so weird. I think realignment's been the worst.
Okay.
That's my 5. What do you got?
My number 5 is the Big Noon.
Okay.
And I love Gus and I love Joel, and I think Fox does a great job. However, the idea of having so many Buckeye football games at noon is just so annoying. And of the 5, to be honest with you, the other 4 I don't hate that much. Too many Big Noon kickoffs I hate, so I've got that ranked at number 5. For me, number 4 was realignment, and I'm with you on a lot of the things that you said. Some of it, fine, but some of it is very weird. Like when you're watching a game of Syracuse versus Stanford and it's an ACC showdown, you're like, what? But for me, number 4 is realignment.
Okay. I have, let's see here. What did I have? I have number 4. I'll go with Big Noon, number 4. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with any of these others. I'll go with Big Noon, number 4, and I'll give you my number 3. I will go with CFP expansion. I didn't mind 12, but you're right. The fact that they're going to probably go to 16 is just too much. So give me CFP expansion.
So for me, 3 is NIL, and I like it. The Buckeyes have taken advantage of NIL, and it's been a very good thing for Ohio State. The sport as a whole, though, without NIL being policed better, that's why I've got that as number 3 on my list of worst things in the last 5 years with college football is NIL. Again, as a Buckeye fan, it's hard to complain about NIL. I complain about it a little bit as a Buckeye basketball fan, but as a Buckeye football fan, NIL is something that Ohio State's benefited so much. But as a whole for the sport, I think it needs to be policed way better than what it is.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't have it higher. So again, these are the ones we have the least problems with. Again, I have the biggest problem with. I think the worst thing to happen, I should say, to college football in the last few years has been realignment. So these are the ones that, we maybe aren't crazy about, but we have the least problems with. I have number 2. I have NIL. I'm glad the players are getting paid. So overall, I think it's a good thing. It's been good for Ohio State, but there need to be some guardrails. There has to be some guardrails. So I have number 2, NIL. And then number 1, so the one I have the least problem with is the portal. Listen, this is where I'll just be selfish. Like, no one has benefited from the portal more than Ohio State. Nobody has. And teams have tried to turn over their roster. Ohio State, look what they did last year. They brought all those guys back, which is the key, but then they were 6 for 6 in the portal, really. I mean, that was the perfect storm with Saban retiring, with Ohio State doing a good job with NIL, with having a good product to sell, with players wanting to play for Ryan Day. I mean, Caleb Downs, the runner-up in his recruitment was Ohio State. So, the portal, I get it. It's made things a little chaotic, but it's been great for Ohio State. And I'm glad the players have the same freedom that coaches do. Coaches can leave anytime they want to and just be. You have to sit out a year if you're a coach, right? And you go to a different school. So I'm glad the players have that same luxury now as well.
So I actually like the transfer portal, and it's actually, as a fan, a lot of fun to follow, right? Like I years and years ago, I used to really get into high school recruiting, right? Like really focus on, this kid is ranked here, and the excitement level of him being a potential Buckeye and visits and all that stuff. Now, to be honest with you, I don't pay a lot of attention to high school recruiting. Now my excitement level is more of, okay, who's available in the portal, because we know how good they are at the level. And so to me, transfer portal has actually been more entertaining for the game of college football than having players sit out a year. And then the last one for me, I love the expansion. So I'm all in for the expansion. So for me, again, I'm best thing that's happened over the last 5 years is the expansion of the playoff. Number 2, transfer portal. And then this is where things I think are bad over the last 5 years. 3, NIL, 4, realignment, and 5, Big Noon.
Yeah, I think you and I are pretty close on realignment. I have it as the worst thing to happen recently. You have it as the second worst thing. But one of the best things to happen to our show is our segment, This or That. Hit it, Cam. All right, ladies and gentlemen out there, I teased this in the first hour. You guys getting with Memorial Day or Thanksgiving? And if you want to extend it out to Memorial Day weekend and Thanksgiving weekend, you can't include Ohio State, Michigan in it. That's cheating. And so we'll do 2 days. You can do Thanksgiving, Thursday and Friday. You can do Memorial Day, today and tomorrow. You getting with Memorial Day? Or are you getting with Thanksgiving?
Well, you taking out the fact that we have OSU Michigan on that weekend really kind of evens things out. But I will still go with Thanksgiving because I love the fact that we have so many great sports going on. It's like college basketball is great that week. You got Feast Week. You got the rivalry games in college football. But then you do still have the best meal of the year where you get that Thanksgiving meal, and then you follow it up with the Thanksgiving leftovers. So I am slightly going Thanksgiving, but I love Memorial Day weekend too.
These are 2 of my favorites. They might be my favorites, although it's hard to beat Christmas. But and I probably 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have said Thanksgiving. But I like days where I don't have to do a lot now. And we're going like crazy on Thanksgiving. We go to 2 different places out of town. Going down the Dayton area. It's not like we're driving that far. There's just so much going on. It's chaotic. Memorial Day, I'm just going to be chilling out, grilling at my own house. Nobody's coming over other than like my wife and my kids will be there. And it's just so relaxing. We got sports on. We got playoff basketball. We got playoff hockey. We got Major League Baseball. So it's tough. It's tough to go against Thanksgiving, but I'm getting with Memorial Day.
I think I'm going to go with Memorial Day as well. A little bit better weather, usually a cookout barbecue.
That's a good point.
On the menu, and then the pools are opening, so I'll go with Memorial Day.
The weather is a good point.
Weather comment is fantastic. And think about this on Memorial Day. You're thinking about, the next 3 months we got summer, right? Whereas on Thanksgiving, you're thinking, oh, no, we get next 3 months are misery as far as weather goes. Now, we got football.
We convinced you, dude. I know. That's hard to beat, football and family and food.
It's hard to beat the football, but you took football out of Thanksgiving.
No, not out of Thanksgiving. Just the Ohio State-Michigan game on Saturday. That's kind of cheating. Right. That's kind of cheating. That's 2 days later.
Yeah, I get it.
If it was on Thanksgiving, that'd be a different ball game.
We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, and then I want to find out if you guys are, for your barbecues, if you like the gas grill or you prefer charcoal. That's next on This or That, and this is On the Money.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
When it's time to ask life's biggest question, make sure your ring says it all. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and we've been helping couples say yes for over 78 years. From brilliant cuts to better prices, the quality and selection of our diamonds is unmatched. Because diamonds aren't just our business, they're our legacy. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com. Bigger diamonds, better prices, guaranteed.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One. Several convenient locations around Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, go to www.orthopedicone.com.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay, moving up payday so you could get your money faster, up to 2 days faster. And there's no cost. It's your money, right? So stop playing the waiting game. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
The two most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants. The pervert and the skivvies. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Scotty Vegas has his own cot in the casino. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. Wanna play?
Welcome back to On the Money. 97.1 The Fan. We are continuing with This or That. All right, we're going to go to Scotty, then we're going to go to Cam, then back to me. Scotty, the floor is yours.
All right, so guys, this is one of the best grilling weekends of the year. I'd argue this one right around 4th of July, maybe Labor Day as well. Those are your three ultimate grilling days. Maybe you're preferring to grill just about every day during the summer. However, my question for you guys, this or that, you prefer to grill with charcoal or you're going with the gas grill?
Definitely charcoal, and I realize it's more convenient to do the gas grill, and if you don't have time, that's different. But if you have time, I don't mind that it takes a while to heat up, because you go out there, you fire up the grill, it takes like at least half hour, sometimes maybe 45 minutes to get all those coals nice and white. I get that, but hey, go out there, have a pop as you're getting the grill going, maybe go inside, watch some sports or whatever, listen to some music, maybe have another pop, and then before you know it, the grill's ready to roll, and I just think it tastes better. There's just something about that charcoal flavor, so I am getting with charcoal grill.
So I'm with you on the taste. I absolutely prefer the taste. However, it's a convenience factor for me. I like to get it done, and so for me, I'm going with the gas grill. I did charcoal for probably 10 years, and then I went to the gas, and it's just the convenience factor.
Once you go gas, you never go back.
And I think if you're going to do it frequently, it makes even more sense. So yeah, I'm going gas over charcoal. What about you, Cam?
I'll go charcoal. I'm lucky I don't have my own grill, so I don't have to worry about the startup and how long it takes. It's convenient for me either way, but based on taste, I'll go with charcoal grill.
Yes, sir, Cam.
All righty, and so definitely a big movie and TV fan, but back to TV shows. Are you guys getting with a weekly release of a new episode, or everything released at the beginning, or you could just binge the whole season?
Binge. I like to binge. Yes.
So this is such a good question out of you, Cam, because I've actually had this conversation with some people around the office too. And I have such a hard time waiting week to week to week. Now, there is value in it, right? Because, okay, instead of just getting the whole series done or season done in 2 or 3 days, it's something to look forward to every single week, and I do appreciate that. However, there's nothing better than if there's a series you love and there's like 10 episodes that you're able to do 3 or 4 at a time. So overall, sign me up for all the episodes being out at once and binging versus waiting week after week.
The only reason, like, I grew up, obviously, like, before streaming, it was all just live, and so you would have to wait every week for an episode. But I just still loved kind of watching it with, like, kind of the culture. Everyone's kind of on the same episode. You can kind of digest and analyze the previous episode before the next one comes out. So I still enjoy the weekly releases.
There is that excitement factor when your favorite show comes on and after not seeing it for a week, or if they took a week off, 2 weeks. There's that is hard to beat. But man, when they leave you hanging for a week, that's tough. That's a great question though, Cam. All right, speaking of grilling, this doesn't have to be grilled because one of these is something you would not grill. But you guys getting with, generally speaking, you getting with chicken or pulled pork? Could be any kind. Could be a pulled pork sandwich. Could be any type of chicken you like. Could be whatever. Overall, you getting with chicken. You get with pulled pork.
So I eat a lot more chicken. A lot more chicken than pulled pork. However, if we were going 1 versus 1 on taste, I'd probably say give me the pulled pork versus the chicken. However, in my daily life, I eat way more chicken than I do pulled pork. So I think to answer the question, I got to go with chicken.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with pulled pork. Because you said it perfectly for me. I definitely eat more chicken. I like chicken, but a nice pulled pork sandwich, I'm going to go with that. Give me pulled pork.
Yeah, that's a great question. Besides like a really good fried chicken or chicken wings, but a good pulled pork sandwich with great barbecue sauce. I still have to go with chicken, though. It's hard to beat. There's so many different ways you can do it.
You guys both have to look away pass on me.
So, Dave, are we including chicken wings into that discussion with the chicken? Because if we are, then it's not even close anymore.
That's like including Ohio State Michigan game with Thanksgiving weekend. Like if you include that, it's hard to compare it to.
Then the ball game's over.
Yeah, if you include chicken wings. By the way, Cam had one. I'll just let him do it unless he wants me to do it. But let's hear yours first, because Cam had one that I thought was a this or that. We were talking during the break. No, it's what he is debating getting for lunch after the show, and it's a real good one.
Ooh.
So we'll just let Cam do it, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay, well, mine is going to be a very open-ended this or that.
Okay.
Because on the next hour during the call-in show, we're going to have people call in to what sporting event you're most excited for during the summer. So you get to kind of choose. I was going to list it to 2 or 3 different things. However, in this case, I'm just going to let you pick sporting event this summer you're most excited about.
Oh, wow. I will go with, the World Series is going to be in the fall, so that doesn't count. I can't pick Reds in the World Series. How about they get over 500 first?
It's got to be between June and probably late August. No football. Nothing football counts.
I will go with, I'll go with the Memorial Tournament.
Really?
Yeah, it was last year's my first time ever being out there last year, obviously. Judging by me almost getting arrested trying to park on the way in. There's just something special about being out there, man. So I'll go with, I considered Wimbledon, I considered Big Ten Media Days in Vegas, but give me the Memorial Tournament. There's one more that I'm really looking forward to. I don't know if this really counts. There's a certain hearing in Indianapolis on June 6th and 7th.
No.
The Committee on Infractions. I'm looking forward to that. Get your popcorn ready, my friends. Bet.
We're not counting that. This has got to be a summer sporting event.
Jack's Tournament.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to go the same route where I'm going to go with golf, but I'm going to go with the U.S. Open. I can't wait for Oakmont, Scotty Scheffler versus Rory McIlroy. To me, that's going to be the summer blockbuster. Wimbledon, close second to me. Cam, what sporting event during the summer are you most excited for?
It would probably have to be the NBA Finals. Definitely always looking forward to that every year. Is usually great basketball, or you see one team that is just head and shoulders above the rest of the league and maybe even started a dynasty. So that's what I'm looking forward to this summer.
Camo.
Alrighty, so I was talking to Dave during the last break, and I asked him kind of what I'm feeling or thinking about for lunch today. So, would you rather go with a cheesesteak or chicken wings?
You know, I told him when he asked me that, and I was like, both.
Yeah.
And I seriously thought he was asking me, like, what do you think about this for like this or that? He's like, well, no, this is what I'm thinking about. He had a different this or that. This is tough for me. I love both of them. Jeez.
Can I ask from where on each?
Or is it just your favorite?
So my favorite cheesesteak, or what I usually go to, is Steak Escape and then chicken wings from Roosters.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my favorite as well.
All right.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, for me, it's chicken wings. Like, that is number one. Always for me is chicken wings. Number two is pizza, but chicken wings number one. I do like a good cheesesteak. Mine, I go to Jersey Mike's, and I love the jalapenos on it and all that stuff. So for me, wings number one, though.
Yeah, it really depends on the day. But since this is the day you're asking the question, I'm getting with cheesesteak. I really depends on the day. I could go with wings tomorrow, but today cheesesteak sounds better. I'm getting with cheesesteak.
Okay. I appreciate both answers. I think I'm going to go with chicken wings today because I know I'm going to have a lot of meat later during our cookout, a family cookout. Some ribs, some probably hamburgers or hot dogs, some lamb chops. So I'm going to go with the chicken wings today to start the day off.
All right, back to picking holidays against each other. All right, you guys getting with the 4th of July? Or are you getting with Labor Day?
I'm going to go with 4th of July. Labor Day is fun because it's also that opening weekend for football. So love that. However, 4th of July is just so much to it, right? Where you've got the fireworks and you got the grills and you get a long weekend and the weather's generally hot and fun and you're at the pool and hanging out. So I'm going to go 4th of July. But again, love Labor Day as well.
I'm going to go in Labor Day. Just the football just puts it over the top for me. And it seems like it's a little less chaotic. You guys know me, my old age. I kind of like the more relaxing holidays.
I'm going to go with Dave and go with Labor Day. Definitely that opening weekend of college football, always really special, really fun to look forward to. And then just kind of a lazy day, kind of get a day off. I kind of like the holidays on Monday because I hate Mondays. Yes. And so give me a little bit longer weekend. Okay.
I'm going to throw one out at you guys. This is your life is on the line, okay? And you either have to make a 6-foot putt or you have to make a free throw. You get a 6-foot putt or a free throw. What are you taking to save your life?
Free throw. I mean, I've played a lot of not recently, but I played a lot of basketball in my life. I haven't played much golf, so I would go free throw.
And what would you say your percentage from the free throw line would be?
Like now?
Like what?
I would practice a lot, but I would still probably get to like 50-50 probably. Hopefully more than 50-50.
If I took you out back to the little basketball hoop that we have out here on the parking lot, from the free throw line, you think it's about 50-50?
Right now, it's me practicing none at all. I might be lower than 50%. But if I practice, I think I'd be above 50%.
I think that for me, I'm taking the 6-foot putt.
You're a golfer, though, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would be about maybe 60% with the putt, maybe about 50-50 with the free throw. Cam, I think you're going free throw, aren't you?
Yes, I will definitely take the free throw. I haven't touched my golf clubs, pulled out the putter in a while, and so I'll trust myself to be able to step up and hit a free throw before a 6-foot putt.
You made a good point earlier, Scotty. We're done with this or that, but you were talking about like when they might finally put the bets out there where teams can make the CFP. We love those parlays just to make the CFP, and they're still not out yet. They might not have been out until the 1st of June last year. I'm not sure. It seemed like they were out around this time last year. But you made a good point. They might have been waiting to see what happened with the seeding situation.
Yeah. Again, they just figured out what this playoff is going to look like this week. So I got a feeling that now that we know the format, we know the seeding, we know the dates, we know all that stuff, now hopefully we can start seeing to make the college football playoff parlays start popping up.
A lot of hype around Penn State. What do you make of that? They do have a good roster, but Drew Aller is he's one of those guys, and maybe he'll turn it on this year because I do like their offensive coordinator. And one thing about bringing Knowles in, Knowles was able to share the scouting report against Aller. So Aller knows exactly what, and they were talking about that. Obviously, they didn't say what it was, but Aller was like, that was eye-opening, and it's helpful to know what a defense like Ohio State was trying to do to me. These are my weaknesses. This is what they thought. I mean, that's pretty good for Penn State right there. But still, man, it's James Franklin. I still think, and they have all this hype around them. It's not like well, they have this good roster and they're going to sneak up on people. Not that Penn State would sneak up, but you know what I mean. Penn State's going in as like, a lot of people think they're the favorite in the Big Ten. Ohio State's the betting favorite. But you read a lot of these stories nationally, Scotty. A lot of people have Penn State winning the Big Ten. That's an interesting case study for me.
Yeah, and for me with Penn State, I'm kind of right there with you where it's like, I think they had a really good offseason. I think the moves that they made, some of the guys that they have coming back, I just don't trust them. I don't trust them to win a huge game. And I keep coming back to that game against Notre Dame where you're in the semifinals, and they should have absolutely beaten Notre Dame in that semifinal game. And Notre Dame was up against it. And Penn State just kind of gave it back to him. And Drew Aller in the huge spotlight didn't step up. Can that change in a year? Of course it can. More experience, all that stuff. But for me at Penn State, I got to see it to believe it, Dave.
Next up, we're going to try and win you some money. That's up next on The Money.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40. Period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Jerry. Hey, Aaron. Hey, it's that time of year again. What time is that? The time all the air conditioners start breaking down. Oh, that time. Yep, every year.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Like a swarm of bees. They all get together in a coordinated effort.
You mean the Queen air conditioner tells them all to break down?
Nah, they just get tuckered out in the heat, Aaron. Can we handle all the calls?
Sure, we have a swarm of highly trained coolness experts standing by.
Get Eco.
ECO.
And we have $3.5 million in new service trucks to get them there the day you call.
The same day? Well, what if you don't call until...
We'll come as late as you'll stay up to let us in. Same day.
That explains all the revving engines.
It's like a beehive of activity, Jerry.
Do you know I invented that weird Scoopy thing you serve honey with?
You should invent something for ketchup, Jerry. It's America.
Ooh, now that's an idea.
Get Eco.
ECO.
GetEco.com.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Good news. Jack has personally invited the fan to the Memorial Tournament, and we're broadcasting 30 hours of live content, and we'll try not to embarrass ourselves.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. It is a big sale at Universal Windows Direct. You're getting an incredible 50% off your windows. That's half off, and it gets even better. For a limited time, you get no interest and no payments for 12 months. That's a whole year. I got to tell you when something's half and when something's a year. You also get a free entry door with your window purchase. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 614-502-5220, or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-345-2789. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-345-2789. That's 800-345-2789 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-345-2789.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
D. Biddle's favorite kind of psychology is reverse psychology. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. What a play.
Hope everyone is enjoying a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Again, a reminder, we're going to be doing the show live out at the Memorial Tournament next Sunday. And we are going to be kind of right at the driving range. They'll drop you off. The shuttle drops you off. You kind of walk in. You'll see our tent as you're walking in. We're going to be doing the show. The Fan is going to be doing 40 hours of programming from Wednesday through Sunday next week. You and I are going to be out there. The call-in show is going to be out there next Sunday, so can't wait for that. That's going to be so much fun. But, Dave, this Sunday morning, it's time to start helping people win some money. We do that with what we call best bets. Dave, what's your best bet for this Sunday?
You know, we're less than 100 days away. I believe the exact number is 97 days away from the start of the college football season. Yeah, yes. We're in double digits, baby. We're in double digits away from college football. I've been looking at some of the over-unders. I really like the over of Illinois 7.5 wins. Really like it because I think the Fighting Illini are going to be a good team. They were a good team last year, and they're bringing back most of their team, including a good quarterback. He's not like a great player, but he's a good quarterback, and he's experienced. Luke Altmaier, Brett Bielema is doing a good job there, and again, they've got a lot of talent coming back. 7.5 wins, that's pretty low. I think worst case scenario this year for Illinois, in my opinion, is 7-5. That would lose you the bet. That's worst case scenario. I think they could be as good as 10-2. I would probably pick 9-3, and that gives you some wiggle room. And then if they go 8-4, which I think, again, not worst case scenario, because I think worst case is 7-5, but almost worst case scenario is 8-4. That wins you the bet. I think Illinois is going to be a 9 or 10 win team. And this is just regular season. You're talking about just the 12 games. They do have to play Ohio State. The rest of the schedule is pretty manageable. I think Illinois getting to 8 wins, I love that bet.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. You talked me into a couple of these over-under win totals previously. They've both come through. You said Cincinnati under a couple years ago, and gosh, you knocked it out of the park with the Indiana call last year. I'm with you on Illinois, and you pull up that schedule. Like, that schedule is very, very doable. Now, they do go play at Indiana, which won't be easy. You mentioned the Ohio State game, and then you're looking at Wisconsin. But otherwise, it's a very, very manageable schedule. I'm with you. I'm also taking the over on that one. You convinced me on that bet. The other thing that I'm looking at, you and I were talking about our favorite sporting event during the summer, what we're most looking forward to. For me, it's the U.S. Open in golf. I'm really excited about it. I think there's 3 guys that you need to attack right now with futures bets. One, of course, Scotty Scheffler. He's sitting there at 4-1, and I think there's a good chance that he wins at Jack's Place here this coming week. And if that happens, that 4-1 goes to about 2.5-1 going into the U.S. Open. The other 2 guys who I'm attacking ahead of time, Bryson DeChambeau, because he hits it so far, and I think he'll have a big advantage out of the tall rough at Oakmont being further up, and so just wedging out to greens. I like that. And then the other thing is Jon Rahm. I know he fell apart late in the PGA Championship. He's won a U.S. Open before. Jon Rahm's trending in the right direction. So those are the 3 guys that I have circled for the U.S. Open next month, starting to place bets on them. And then, guys, the French Open started today. A little tennis action. And Carlos Alcaraz is still plus money to win the French Open. And I know Sinner's in there. Sinner's coming off that long suspension for doping. So I am in on Alcaraz plus 110 at the French Open.
But what if Sinner's still doping, though? Apparently, they don't really penalize you anymore for that in tennis. You can just be like, oh, whoops, snuck into my smoothie somehow. How does that excuse still work? Tennis used to be pretty hardcore about it. Now they're just like, whatever.
Well, Djokovic has said if that excuse is made by someone other than a top elite player, you're laughed at and you probably are out of the game.
Yeah, and you have it in women's tennis and men's tennis, right? Because didn't one of the top women's players also busted and they didn't do anything about it. It was like a slap on the wrist. Gee, unbelievable. These guys know, and ladies know exactly what's going on in their body. They know everything that's going on in their body.
Oh yeah,
they're like a machine. These professional tennis players, there's just no way they don't know that they're taking a banned substance. We have Major League Baseball. Cleveland, I must have said their previous name. Cleveland Guardians, Detroit Tigers. First pitch at 11:40 today. How about that? Ooh. A little late morning baseball. Yeah, because it's on one of the streaming services. So you got Guardians and Tigers. Unfortunately for the Guardians. Oh, maybe you never know. They beat them in the playoffs last year. Scooball's on the mound for the Tigers, and he's pretty good. But we'll see, man. I mean, the Guardians having another good year. Been some up and downs already, but Logan Allen, really good pitcher for the Guards. He's on the mound against Scooble. And then you have Reds and Cubs in Cincinnati. 1:40 first pitch, rubber match. You can hear it right here. 97.1 The Fan. On the rubber match for the Reds is Nick Lodolo. And starting for the Cubs is Ben Brown. Reds are 26-27 on the season. They're in 3rd place. Cubs are in 1st place. Cubs definitely have the best player. Maybe have Hunter Greens would be up there, and Ellie would be as well. But with Tucker, the way Pete Crow Armstrong's playing, the Cubs are definitely clearly the favorite. But hey, I just want the Reds to stay in it. The over-under was 78.5 wins. They could be 79-83, and I win that bet. So let's see if the Reds can get to 500 today.
Yeah, I love it. And, of course, coming up on the call-in show, we're going to take your favorite summer sporting events, what you're most looking forward to, that number. You can give us a ring. We got prizes all hour to give away. Number 614-821-9710. We're going to open up the phone lines, get your favorite summer sporting events and summer stories going.
That is our show for today. Thank you very much for joining us. For Scotty Vegas and Cam Taylor, I am Dave Biddle. Like Scotty said, up next is the Fan Call-In Show with Scotty and Ryan Baker. Give the boys a call at 614-821-9710. This has been On the Money.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, you're the Carfax guy.
The Carfax from Carfax.
Wow.
And you, sir, work at Tire Discounters.
I sure do.
The Carfax top-rated service center.
Oh, right. A lot of that's because of our services. But people think we're just about tires.
Maybe it's your name.
Yeah.
Tire Discounters and your jingle.
Oh, you like it?
I think it needs something.
Yeah? Like what?
Hit it! Plus brakes, oil changes, shocks, and struts, and more. Now that speaks to me.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free Healthy Leg Screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and tell me if this sounds familiar. Over the weekend, you went into your closet trying on shorts from last year. They were all too tight, so you searched deeper in the closet, looking through shorts you stashed away from thinner years. Maybe a big pair had gotten lost in the mix. No luck. Well, I'm here to tell you, don't buy bigger shorts. Instead, do what I did and fit into the ones from last year in just a few weeks with Awaken 180 weight loss. Heck, you'll be wearing your thin shorts again just a few weeks after that. How do I know? Because I'm still wearing my thin Austin shorts again this summer. I've kept my 50 pounds off thanks to Awaken 180's free maintenance support for life. Say it with me. I won't buy bigger shorts. Make that pledge, then call Awaken 180 and make the most out of this summer and every summer after. Awaken 180, your long-term solution for weight loss. Call 844-346-1800 or head online at awaken180weightloss.com. You won't regret it.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit ohiomulch.com today.
Ohio